team in the postseason. This is a team, as pundits said weeks ago, no one wants to see on the postseason schedule. No one wants to run into on the way to the Lombardi Trophy. Then I'd be fine. I'd be like, well, whatever. Who cares? Turn the page. It's on to the postseason. But, man, don't the Green Bay Packers look good? Don't they look strong? Aren't they firing on all cylinders? Aren't they clicking? Don't they look like one of the top teams in the NFC? And the answer, emphatically, after yesterday, is no, Chew. They don't. They don't look like a top team at all. There was nothing they did yesterday. There was no redeeming quality about yesterday's game.
That looked like a game where they were playing for nothing, kind of like Philly was. How bad would it have been if Washington lost? And then you're going to the Rams.
Yeah, it would have been nice.
That would have been a real gut punch. The only thing I think that's tempering the anger right now is the fact that Washington won, and you look back and say at the end of the day it really didn't matter. But even in the middle of the game, because I was watching Washington-Dallas as well, and Dallas was kind of dominating that game, it just looked like the game meant nothing and they didn't want to play, which is weird because you played like crap the week before. You're playing at home. Playoffs are right around the corner. It was frustrating. Very frustrating.
And I think it'd be one thing if, like, Malik Willis played the whole game and the Packers decided to play their backups, but they played all their starters the entire time on defense. Yes, they decided to sit Josh Jacobs after he scored the touchdown, then Malik comes in after the Jordan injury. But it's not like Jordan Love and the offense outside of Josh Jacobs did anything before that injury anyway.
Right. And you take one other element of it, guys. You took away this narrative, this belief, this idea that Malik Willis can win you games. Not saying he can't win some games, but part of it was, even if Jordan Love gets injured, even if you don't have Jordan Love, you've got Malik Willis, and he is capable of ushering the team, moving the offense, and yesterday that went out the window as well. Yesterday, that idea that he could go out there and just maintain status quo and could get you the dub, that went out the window as well. So I chalk this up to shouldn't have played. It would have almost been better
shouldn't
to forfeit
have played anybody?
the game. No, I'm just saying. I mean, obviously, I
Forfeit?
don't believe that. I'm just saying, how do you come out of a game like that, Chew, with not a single redeeming quality? Your quarterback got hurt. Your wide receiver got hurt, likely lost for the year if what we're hearing is accurate, and we'll talk about that as the show goes on this morning. What was the point? Matt LaFleur said he was starting those guys because they played like caca. Now, LaFleur would never say that, but I'm paraphrasing, the week before. So where's your sense of pride? Where's this idea of, like, you're right, we did look like boo-boo the week before. We need to show the league. We need to show ourselves that we can hang with the best teams. And there was nothing I saw yesterday, Chew. Maybe you can help me get inside the head of an athlete, get inside the head of a Week 18 playoff-bound team whose seeding ultimately didn't matter. Maybe you can help me understand that. But, oh, man, the frustration this morning for me, and I'm guessing for other fans, unless you're the people out there who are like going, it didn't matter, they're the Bears, it doesn't matter, I'm not going to prioritize rivalries over playoff runs. I made the joke yesterday on Twitter, this isn't Columbus. You know, it's not Columbus, Ohio, where we care more about beating Michigan than we do about a potential playoff run / national championship. But even so, Chew, there was nothing that I saw yesterday that makes me feel like this team can make a deep playoff run.
No.
I'm scared they're going to get absolutely boat raced by the Philadelphia Eagles. Curb stompage in Philly this weekend.
I was surprised the line was only 4.5. I thought it'd be more like 6. But yesterday, I mean, there are probably some players that are like, we can't beat the top teams in the NFC. I don't think it's a switch. You know what I mean by you guys? We hear about, the Bucs can flip a switch and then play.
That's a veteran team, Chew. I mean, this is the youngest team in the league, which is why I think, the switch is so hard to figure out anyway. But when you're the youngest team in the league, you have no idea what the switch is.
No, you don't. And then you lost, for this year, it seems that Christian Watson is done. You lost your best receiver. Jaden Reed certainly wasn't into the game.
Well, Jaden Reed hasn't been in the season the last 4 or 5 weeks.
So I'm with Jen. I think this could be real ugly in Philly. But I put LaFleur on that list, too, because ultimately he is responsible for getting your team ready to play, and this team was not ready to play. And I'll tell you this, the Bears are not good.
No, very bad.
Offensively, they are not good. Caleb Williams is average at best. DJ Moore, he played like he was on vacation. I mean, he had that nice run for a touchdown, but you see him after he fumbles and he's laughing on the sidelines. He could give a crap. That was just it. It's a bizarre game.
Well, they just made. You want to talk about LaFleur? Like every coach responsible for something made a mistake and made a huge mistake that contributed to them ultimately losing that game. Whether it was LaFleur calling the timeout when he did instead of wasting more time if you're going to kick a 55-yard field goal, whether it was Bisaccia and the trickery that the team fell for and wasn't ready for on the punt return, or it was Jeff Hafley inexplicably playing three safeties all the way back at the 25-yard line and just allowing the middle of the field to be wide open so the Bears can complete a pass, get into field goal range, and win the game. Like, everybody made a fatal mistake.
It felt like the Jets at the beginning of the year. We just show up. We got MVP, quarterback, Hall of Fame quarterback. All we got to do is show up. Well, you can't just show up. You can't just show up. They're not hot. How do you go from being the hottest team and I don't want to play them to 2 weeks later like,
everybody wants to play this team.
I agree.
This is the team everybody wants to play.
I agree.
Yeah.
Like they've
and then you lose your top guy. Like I said, you lose your top guy on a non-contact, and I'm sure they're going to debate that all day, whether he should have been playing or not. This is going to be a tough one to recover from and go into Philly.
800-990-3776. That is our Carbless talk and text line. List is more. 800-990-3776. Reaction already rolling in fast and furious on the ESPN Milwaukee Carbless talk and text line. And phone lines lighting up. I believe there's frustration out there for Packers fans who hope that the Packers would not only continue their streak of success against the lowly Bears, but would also have some momentum, be riding high. Right? Be able to sort of look at some things that they did yesterday and go, see, that's what we do well. That's what we're going to ride. That's why teams should fear us. Is there anything out there right now, guys? And I'm asking you, loyal listeners, that people should fear the Packers for? 800-990-3776. Let's go out to Tim in Tosa, who is waiting patiently on the line. Tim, you're on with Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Good morning. Your reaction to yesterday's loss to the Chicago Bears.
Jen, you and I are always in step with emotions, and the same. We share the same anger, the same highs, the same lows. This team, I don't know, and it's more. So I look at this again. It's another example week, and I wanted your guys' thoughts on this. What is it? And it's more than just a fluke. It's more than just a bad string of things that Matt LaFleur clearly cannot get or does not get this team ready to go for a first half. I mean, there's enough bulletin board material to go. This team comes out flat almost every game, unprepared, and it's always catch up. You look at Minnesota, just go down. I mean, I'm not going to take up time doing that, but if you look at the span of this year, if they don't get themselves in all the holes that they get themselves in the first half, coming out flat and disoriented and just whatever, lackadaisical, that this team is winning a lot of games by more than a handful of margins. But every single week it seems like we have to catch up by 15 points or 16 points or 21 points, and we're spotting these teams. So to me, that screams that LaFleur, as good as he is, borderline great to some people, he just is missing something fundamental that every week we have to go through this. The team has to go through this where they have to play catch up. They look flat, they look lost, they look like a high school team, and it's more than just a game or two or three. And I didn't know if you guys think this is a deeper issue, if this is just like he's starting to show some colors with the red flag, 1 for 7. Hey, he won, he got one. At least he's not shut out for the season. Kind of approach and mentality, and that's frustrating. And the other thing is, real quick, you look back at the season, and the shining part of this coming out of the season with these wide receiving core is that really nobody stood alone. Nobody elevated themselves. So the only good thing when it comes to contract negotiations is we don't have to pay somebody so much money. And then the only guy you are going to pay is Tucker Kraft. That dude shows up every single week and does his assignment. He's the only guy that shows up.
Yeah, but I saw the box score of Tucker Kraft because I was curious about how his numbers would shake out. What did he go, 4 of 7? He was targeted 7 times.
Yep.
I'm going to roll it up.
Yep.
7 times, caught 4.
Mm-hmm. But, I mean, that's not on him.
Well, you're right. But again.
If Jordan Love or Malik Willis spikes it at his feet.
Tim just said the value, the benefit, the silver lining is we don't have to pay anybody. My kingdom for somebody that they would pay.
Oh, no,
My kingdom for a wide receiver that they pay, Gabe.
Oh, the dream is that you draft somebody that you pay.
800-990-3776.
Every draft pick that you take, which is why yesterday I said on Green Bay Game Day, I've earmarked some of the $60 million they have in cap space for T. Higgins. I'm just earmarking that right now.
You're just manifesting
I'm
over
just
there?
going to, we're just, hey, I know we're a little ways away. Just let me bend the corner of that page there. I'm just going to put that little earmark, and we can go back and check in on that later.
800-990-3776. Go ahead, Shu.
Huge part of the game was, and the Bears probably have the worst offensive line in all of the North. The dude still had time to throw.
Yep.
Well, Gabe's not surprised by that at all.
Yeah, I mean,
no, I know,
we know. I mean, it's just at the end of the day, this team doesn't have. It's something that I was concerned about at the beginning of the season, and it still exists to this day. They've got the youngest team in the league. Not any of them really developed into some of the guys that we thought they would be. And at the end of the day, they don't have enough blue chip talent. There's not enough top line talent on this roster to truly be one of the most feared in the NFC.
So would you rather have a beast of a D end, Gabe, or T. Higgins?
Well, T. Higgins is.
I'm telling you, they're going to roll it back. I'm telling you right now, they are going to roll it back, and they're not going to do anything with this D line.
Well, I mean, they're going to draft somebody. I think that's going to be pretty obvious. But I mean, the problem is, Chew. I haven't done a deep dive into free agency yet. I don't know if there's going to be a beast of a D lineman available.
They're not going to have money to pay one. Gave it all to Rashawn Gary.
Well, I mean, you're going to have $60 million in cap space.
Yeah, but are they going to dedicate that money elsewhere to the places that have holes, or the one they paid and they believe in?
I don't know how much they actually believe in him.
Well,
I don't know how much they actually believe in him. I mean, Hafley last week when he made the Pro Bowl, Hafley said what he had to say. I don't know if there was any actual emotion behind the words that Jeff Hafley had to say. Well, yeah, this guy sets the edge. Yeah, that's what we like. Yeah,
it's good in the run.
Yeah, sets the edge.
Yeah, it's a bad confluence of events the week that Zadarius Smith is named to the Pro Bowl, and then also the defensive line struggles. And watching the Lions-Vikings game last night, flipping back and forth between that and the Golden Globes, because, I enjoyed that element as well. And I loved that the broadcast was saying, yes, they lost Aiden Hutchinson, but you know what they're doing? Those guys on the end, they're squeezing. They're squeezing in, and then that creates a pocket that is collapsing on Sam Darnold, and that's forcing him to get rid of the ball faster than he would want. And I was thinking to myself, what a concept. What a concept to squeeze those ends like that, Gabe, and actually get some pressure with 4. Why have the Packers not been able to do that all season long? We got to continue.
They're not good enough.
We got to continue here.
Pretty simple answer.
800-990-3776. That, of course, is our Carbalist talk and text line. Let's go out to Jason in Hales Corner. You're up next on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy reacting to the loss yesterday.
Thank you for taking my call, guys. I really appreciate the show. Where does this team stand when it comes to their passion, their conviction, their,
heart?
everything about
it? Is heart
it,
the word you're looking for this morning?
Yeah.
Jimmy McGinley there, just pounding on his chest. Heart. We need hearts.
Julie, you were spot on last Friday when you said that we need to put a team like this away early. Once again, we didn't do that. We let them hang in there, and guess what? I don't know if you guys know. I don't know if you realize this or not, but if Chicago makes that same field goal in Chicago, we go 0-6 in the division. And I can tell you right now, you go 0-6 in the division, you're not lasting long in Green Bay, Wisconsin. I'm sorry, you're not. Because right now, as it stands, the division is what you got to win. And I am so ticked off at the same excuse that LaFleur says every week, week in, week out. I got to put my guys in a better situation. Well, start calling a better damn game. You come out, you have the 15-page scripted, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I think I'm going to go play Madden for a while and go that route. It's like, come on, man. And then the one positive spot that I have to say for the whole year is this, Josh Jacobs. Thank you, Josh Jacobs, for at least putting some spark in this offense. The one last thing I have to say is, on that last drive, if we don't get that horse collar, I think we win the game. Because I believe they were on the 15-yard line. There's something in that area. So it's just like, come on, guys. Now you got to go play in Philadelphia, even though the game wouldn't have mattered if we won, because obviously Washington did win. But for Pete's sakes, where's your passion? I know if Mike Holmgren was around.
Thank you, Jason.
Jason, appreciate the call. Appreciate that. We've got folks lining up on the Carbless ESPN Milwaukee talk and text line and on the 800-990-3776. And I want to hear from everybody because I hear the frustration. And let me be clear one more time before we take our first break this morning on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. It is not losing to the Chicago Bears that has me all fired up this morning. It is that they looked like absolute caca doing it. Okay? If the Bears fall into a victory after the Packers go out there gangbusters in the first half and look like one of the best teams in the league and they pull their guys and the Bears figure out a way and they fall into a few scores, I don't care. I don't care. Because I would take that first half as proof of concept, proof of life, proof that they could hang with the top teams in the NFC and that maybe it would be a dogfight. You would actually get some life out of this team against Philadelphia next week. I don't see that. I don't see that at all right now. And that's what's making me dread this week and the potential matchup and the actual matchup that rather against the Philadelphia Eagles. We got to take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. We roll on right after this. Keep your reaction coming in. We will get to it all this morning as we roll on.
X-Golf inside American Family Field, open off season year round. You need to go check out if you have not been to the X-Golf inside American Family Field because it is such a unique space overlooking left field inside the ballpark. You get to see inside the stadium with the huge glass paneling wall that they have on one side. Of course, they still have the 7 state-of-the-art simulators that X-Golf is known for. But what's great about X-Golf at American Family Field, it's such a big and unique space. It is that perfect spot for that next corporate event. So if you're thinking about hosting a corporate event, they can put on the games that you want and play and use the simulators, but also it's just such a unique space for everybody to go hang out, enjoy the great food, enjoy the great drinks. So book your next sim or to learn more about booking that next corporate event, X-Golf, amfamfield.com.
Never miss out on a second of the show. Find Jen, Gabe, and Chewy on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand. Sponsored by Celsius Essential Energy Drink.
We're seeing a few more issues out on the roadway. First of all, I got to let you know, from the state line all the way up to Sheboygan, you're going to find right along the lakefront some slippery and snow-covered conditions. So just be extra careful. That's that lake effect stuff that we're dealing with. But other than that, we've got a crash on northbound 94 at just past Highway C in Kenosha County. That's off on the right shoulder. Then we've got one on northbound 43 at Hampton, off on the right shoulder there. Another one on 43 southbound on the ramp to get onto westbound 94 in the Marquette. That has cars on either shoulder. Backups on eastbound 94 also slowing down from 76th Street through the Stadium interchange. And check the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today. Morning lake snow showers. Otherwise, partly cloudy skies, breezy up to an inch on the lakefront to the north, 1 to 3 inches near lake in Milwaukee, 3 to 6 near the lakefront to the south, a high of 29. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 17. Weather is brought to you by National Liquor Mart at 16th and National in Milwaukee, packed with the best beer, liquor, seltzer, and spirit deals in town. Open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily, where your satisfaction is their plan of action. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
The Jen, Gabe, and Chewy podcast is sponsored by Celsius Energy Drink, and I am here to tell you it makes a huge difference in my mornings. With a unique blend of essential energy and key vitamins, Celsius is your partner to an active lifestyle. My favorite, the Peach Vibe. Learn more at Celsius.com and pick up Celsius Energy Drinks today.
All day, every day. The Carbless talk and text line is open for you.
First off, there is not one team that's on the fringe that scares me.
800-990-3776. The Carbless talk and text line. This is more.
Is it time to buy an engagement ring?
Or a big anniversary diamond?
Kessler's has diamonds that come from diamond mines.
And we also have diamonds that come from plasma chambers.
When you see the size of the diamond you can afford when you look at our high-tech newborn created diamonds,
You're going to be happy, happy, happy.
and with approved credit, our financing plans make anything possible.
Our selection of engagement rings is beyond compare.
And our custom design department can modify any ring in any way you choose.
Anyone who says they can give you a better ring
Or a better diamond.
Or a better price
has never been to Kessler's.
And our miraculous no small print warranty says,
If you bought it at Kessler's, it's guaranteed.
It's just that simple.
And all maintenance is free forever.
No charge.
yes, it really is that miraculous.
You found a partner you want to share your life with.
When you're ready to celebrate,
We've got a diamond for that.
Find the Kesslers nearest you at KesslersDiamonds.com.
Do you want to have more fun watching the NFL playoffs? Try playing Sleeper Picks. Just download the Sleeper app today and pick more or less on at least 2 players' projected stats. You can win up to 100 times your cash. For a limited time, Sleeper has a special offer. New users have to just play $5 and they'll receive $55 in free entries. Just download the Sleeper app today and use code BRAD, B-R-A-D. Must be 18 years or older. Promo code, location, and other restrictions apply. Minimum deposit $25. See terms of use for details. Please play responsibly. Call 1-800-426-2537 for help.
Progressive presents Renter's MVP's Most Valuable Possessions. Today's MVP, Joe Fallon's bedroom mini fridge. Sure, this pint-sized chiller's max capacity is 3 soda cans, but what it lacks in stature, it makes up in cooling strength. Each beverage a perfect 37 degrees every time. And the 2 feet Joe walks to get a drink, priceless. That's why his mini fridge is today's MVP. Keep your most valuable possessions protected by bundling your renters and auto insurance with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
It's the new year. Time to make a positive change in your life.
I went to My Computer Career because I needed job security.
Because I wanted a career in cybersecurity.
I went to My Computer Career because IT jobs are everywhere.
My old job was going nowhere.
I went because I didn't want college loans for the rest of my life.
Because I wanted a career for the rest of my life.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. Financial aid available for qualified students, including the GI Bill. 529 college savings plans accepted. Not available in Washington State.
You're listening to Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
He hates the ending of all comedies. Apparently doesn't like happy endings.
I love happy endings. Don't take it that far.
Muy bueno. Maybe that's a vote for Groundhog Day for you.
On 94.5 ESPN.
I seen your picture. Your name in lights above it.
Jeff in the 920 weighing in on the Carbless Talk and Text line. I don't want to hear about next week, this team with Matt the Mouse in charge. He has been here for 6 years. He's horrible at clock management. He's a horrible motivator, and he panics in tight games. They lose 5 out of 6 division games. It's not going to get better with him as head coach. Some people turning on Matt LaFleur this morning as the Packers fall to the Bears yesterday at Lambeau Field, Week 18. Again, the outcome not really mattering. At one point in the game, late, Dallas was up. Packers were up, and I'm thinking 6th seed, here we come. Will it be the Bucks? Will it be the Rams? Who can say? And then it was like, no, never mind. To Philly we go.
That's where, again, the defense, yeah, they took some strides. There was improvement, but it's the same old defense. I mean, how many times late in the game is this defense going to let them down? There's way too much this year.
They tried giving them the game, you know. That stupid call by, who threw that pass? DJ Moore? Where he just threw it up for grabs?
It was Keenan Allen when he threw it
right to Xavier McKinney.
Just the,
yeah, I know.
right to him.
That's when I thought the game was over. I'm like, they're going to win ugly, go down, score, and it's not what happened.
No,
well, they still had the opportunity. You're up.
Yeah.
And you just have to hold them with 54 seconds left, and you make a good special teams play where you pin them at the 20-yard line. Which I know is, back when you played, Chewy, that was the original starting point. But in today's NFL, that's a hell of a stop. You're holding somebody at the 20-yard line on a kickoff return.
Yeah, confidence this time of the year is so important. This just feels like, to me, it feels like when we'd go to Dallas in the second round of the playoffs, and, we'd win that first playoff game, and then we'd go and be like, I think we can win. Yeah, we can definitely. I think maybe we can win. Yeah, they can win if the turnover margin is 4-0. Then they can win. Other than that, No. I mean, this is probably the worst place to go play.
Yep.
When it comes from a fan standpoint, they're going to be hungry. They smell blood in the water, so frustrating, very, very. But everyone shared. Jordan stunk.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Jordan was bad. LaFleur was bad. Hafley was bad. Bisaccia was bad. Everything.
I don't ever remember losing, and I may be wrong. I don't ever remember losing a game like this at home. I remember losing them on the road.
Okay.
Because, like I said, you weren't prepared to play. But at home, no.
So I want to get to this Matt LaFleur sound, and to your guys' point about momentum and confidence and all of those things. Matt LaFleur said yesterday, this is like March Madness from here on out. Anything can happen. Okay. That's a clown statement at this point. I don't think the NFL playoffs are anything like March Madness. But I suppose if you want to do the one-time Little Giants, I guess we can play that. Hope is not a strategy is what I've been taught. I want to hear from Matt LaFleur, though, when he talked about the path and what they need to do to have success in the postseason. Take a listen to Matt LaFleur yesterday talking about how they can have success against the Eagles.
0 from here on out, and we got to try to do the things that we feel like we can have some success with, and really lean into that. And we know it's going to be a great challenge. Philly's a hell of a team, and they do it really in every phase of the game, offensively, defensively, and on special teams.
What would that entail? What do the Packers do well? What can they hang their hat on that would give them some sense of confidence, that would give them some sense of superiority over their opponents going forward, Chew? What do you look at? What do you highlight? What are we spotlighting? What Matt LaFleur says that to the media. What comes to mind?
The only thing it is running the ball. That's it.
Well,
but then I look, and
Chewy,
I'm like, they won't even have the advantage in this game because they have Saquon Barkley.
But shockingly, Chew, shockingly,
yeah,
they've actually been good at stopping the run.
Yes.
They're fifth in the league in yards against the run. They've been really good against the run. And again, it's a different task when you're going from DeAndre Swift and last week Aaron Jones, who's still a very good back. It's a different level going to Saquon Barkley. But running the ball and stopping the run are the two things that they really do well. And that's the foundation of any offense that wants to be really good. They want to start by running the football and then go from there. Any foundation of a defense that wants to be good stops the run, and then goes from there.
Okay, I'm going to woo-saw my way through this, Gabe, because yes, on paper, those are things that the Packers have done well this season. But is there any part of you that thinks that they will do them well enough against Philadelphia this weekend, especially if you're one-dimensional, especially if you are resigned to only running the ball? Feels like Philadelphia's a pretty good team. It feels like they're a really good defense, and they can try, if they know that that's your thing that you do well, to shut it down.
Yeah, I mean, every defense knows that the Packers want to run the football. They've still had success. I mean, again, is it going to be good enough to win? Probably not. But you've got that baseline of, you asked, what do they do well? What are they going to try to hang their hat on? Those are the two things they're going to try to hang their hat on and try to build off of if they want to have any sort of chance against Philadelphia. Those are the two things.
But here's the problem. What are you going to play, man or zone this week? What are you going to play, man or zone? Because if you play man, then that brings Jalen Hurts into the ball game, because that means defenders' backs are to him, and he can torch you.
Well, what did they do week one? What did they do week one when these two teams faced off?
I mean, the Packers don't really play man. Hardly. The other thing they do well is running quarterbacks. They've been good against them pretty much all year. That's like one of their stronger suits, is keeping people in front of them. Largely in part, that's Quay Walker and Edgerrin Cooper, because they are so damn fast and athletic. That's been an advantage.
All right, we're building something here. We're building something, Joshy.
I'm running out. I'm already looking at kicker. I'm already starting to think, that kicker's been good.
But I mean, 55 yards, rock hard in the cold. Yeah.
I'd like that to be number 10 on the list if I could, but...
Hey, well, we're just stacking right now. If he's number 3 right now, he's number 3.
800-990-3776. Let's go out to the Carbless Talking text line. Greg in Kenosha, you're up next on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Reaction to not just the Packers' loss, but your confidence level going into the playoffs this week.
Good morning, everybody. First of all, this is 100 million % on Matt LaFleur. And you know what? I have no confidence, zero. If you look at what he says every single game, we got to do better. We got to do better. We got things we got to fix. It's every single game. Look in the mirror, Matt LaFleur. You're making boneheaded time decisions as far as running the clock. Boneheaded all season long. You're challenging things that you have no chance of even getting that challenge overturned, but you're still doing it because you're trying to be in the player's favor of saying, oh, he's a nice guy. He's got my back. You don't do that. You win the darn game, period. Your play calls are crap. You're not calling the right plays as far as certain things. There's just so much, and it goes so much deeper than that, John, and Chewy. It goes back to drafting. Why are we drafting all these guys that have great upside in the first round? Number 13, Van Ness. What the hell are we thinking? Sorry about my language. I'm sorry. But I have passion.
He says hell.
And you know what? That's another thing. Where's the passion with all these guys? Chewy, you were out there. Where is the passion for these players? Yeah. There is no passion. There is no heart. There is no desire to want to win. They're getting their paycheck. That's all they care about. The game is over. They look like crap. They're smiling, high-fiving the Bears and all that kind of stuff, giving hugs. I understand your ex-teammates in college and things like that. I get that. But you know what? There's a time and a place for it. Not there.
Appreciate the call, Greg. 800-990-3776 if you want to get in on the carbless talk and text line here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Man, I got a lot of reaction. I got a very, very full carbless talk and text line here. I'll try to pick some of your reaction after this on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
You know how much we love Palermo's Pizza here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. And let's face it, it should just be stocked in your freezer at all times. Whether it's a busy week, you get home, don't have time to make dinner, yet you still want something that tastes great, you can always pop in a Palermo's Pizza. And the great thing about Palermo's is they have so many different brands, they will have a slice that fits your appetite. Whether we're talking about Palermo's, Urban Pie, Connie's, Surfer Boy Pizza, Screamin' Sicilian, Artisan Crusts, Thin Crust, Thick Crust, they have all different flavors ready for you. And how do they do this? I mean, that's so many different brands under the Palermo's umbrella because they've been doing it for 60 years right here in Wisconsin, so they know a thing or two about premium frozen pizza. Find them in your grocer's frozen food aisle. Palermo's, flavor is our family's business.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Well, things along the lakefront are kind of slippery and snow-covered depending on where you are. Basically from Kenosha all the way up to Sheboygan. So be careful with that. We do have a few accidents that we're dealing with. First of all, on southbound 43 on the ramp from 43 to westbound 94 in the Marquette, we have a crash there. Another one at North Avenue on southbound 43 off on the right shoulder as well. Also, northbound 43 at Hampton. We've got an accident off on the right shoulder. Squad is with it right now, so just be extra careful if you're heading through those areas. Eastbound 94 slowing down just before 84th Street, pretty much all the way to the stadium interchange. And check out the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today. Morning lake snow showers. Otherwise, partly cloudy skies, breezy up to an inch on the lakefront. To the north, 1 to 3 inches near lake in Milwaukee, 3 to 6 near the lakefront to the south. A high of 29. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 17. Weather is brought to you by Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center in Waukesha. Join their two-man scramble tournament and play Whistling Straits for a chance to win through the 31st. Sign up at wisconsinindoorgolfcenter.com. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Let's get the latest from Lambeau. This is your green and gold fix on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Z-Bart of Greater Milwaukee. Want that mirror finish on your car? You need Z-Gloss by Z-Bart. Z-Gloss is a 3-layer ceramic coating that not only gives your car that mirror finish, it protects it from everything that Mother Nature can throw at it. Visit zbart.com for more information.
The Packers' 11-game winning streak over the Bears is over after a 24-22 loss at Lambeau Field. However, the big story coming out of the game, the health of Jordan Love. The Green Bay starting quarterback left in the second quarter with a right elbow injury. After the game, Love talked about what happened on the play that caused the injury.
I landed on it on the ground, I think. Just kind of pretty much lost all feeling in my hand and pretty much just went numb.
The Packers will be the 7th seed in the NFC playoffs and will visit the number 2 seed Philadelphia Eagles this coming wildcard weekend.
This has been your green and gold fix on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Z-Bart of Greater Milwaukee.
Every so often in medicine, something comes along that is truly revolutionary.
Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, former orthopedic surgeon, now National Medical Director at QC Kinetics.
I believe this is one of those things.
Dr. Scheinkup is talking about regenerative medicine, something he's practiced, researched, and written about for nearly 2 decades.
The old ways of dealing with joint pain, such as steroids and surgery, are no longer the best ways.
If you have pain from arthritis or injury, you owe it to yourself to learn more about this exciting option, using your own body's natural power to get lasting relief. And there's no better place to learn than QC Kinetics.
There is no one in this country today with more clinics, more satisfied patients, more advanced protocols, or more experience in using this exciting option to deliver life-changing results.
Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
James Imaging Systems. Local support, local accountability, local business technology representatives. Listen to Matheson Manufacturing President Al Leidinger.
She still checks in to see how things are going and if we need anything. So I really do appreciate that from a customer service standpoint.
Michael Quizan, IT Systems Administrator at Great Midwest Bank, discovered the benefits of working with the local team at James.
Our cost from supplies perspective went down. I mean, we're talking about thousands in a year. So we saved a lot of money by bringing James Imaging on.
James Imaging Systems client Luther Gray, Director of Ticket Operations and Group Sales with the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra, on dealing with James.
They are making sure you get the full value and life of every product that you have with them.
Local support, local accountability, local people. Get it all with James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com.
It's Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
The other side of the world, and I'll let you know if I want to come back and coach your little game.
He's Jay Peterman.
Ian Rappaport tweeting yesterday, and I thought this was interesting. The Broncos the last 2 weeks. You guys done?
I got more.
On 94.5 ESPN.
We do have some very conscientious and aware Packers fans out there who are saying Gabe has been banned from going to games as fans. You're not allowed. Not a good first game for Gabe as a fan yesterday. That from Brent in the 715.
Well, it wasn't my first game ever as a fan. It was my first game since 2010.
That's quite a while.
Hold on. Is it your first loss?
Oh, no. No, not my first loss at Lambeau, no. Not even my first loss against the Bears at Lambeau.
Since 2010, you're aware that that's 15 years, right? That's a long
I mean, it was
stretch.
December of 2010, so like
14 years.
14.
800-990-3776. Reaction still rolling in on the Carbless Talk and text line. Let's go out to Benji in Milwaukee, reacting to not just the loss to the Chicago Bears, because again, I can forgive that if the Packers played gangbusters in the first half and then put all of their second stringers in the second half and the Bears fell into a victory. What I cannot support is looking like caca the entire time you had your starters out there and allowing the Bears to leave with the dub. Go ahead, Benji.
Hey, thank you guys for taking my call. Totally agree with you. Listen, the Bears were going to win one eventually. Fine, happens when all our starters are out, whatever. But generally speaking, it's the team just hasn't looked that great all year, and it's like that's kind of why I'm surprised about the frustration from all your fans this morning. It's like we're acting as if like we're some unbelievable team, some powerhouse that like hasn't been stopped. Like no, we just like haven't really been getting it done. So I agree. I'm not very optimistic. I think we could get it done in Philly. But my question is, looking forward, like, what do we do, right? Do we tackle the wide receivers? As great as that sounds to me, our organization doesn't do that. Like, do we tackle the D-line? Is it O-line gaps? Like, I don't even know. I think there's way more holes than we think. So I'm just curious about what your guys' thoughts are. Happy Monday. Thank you for taking my call.
No, I mean, I think there are three significant holes right now. And we talked about those even last week. It's wide receiver one, right? It's having a top-of-the-line wide receiver, somebody that you can go to and trust. It's the defensive line as a whole, and it's the cornerback position, especially if you move on from Jair. Like, those are the three major holes that exist on this roster.
Yeah, thank God they're not important positions on the field either, you know. It's like filling a fullback, D-line, receiver, and cornerback. I mean, for the hell of it, I just went back, I don't know, this weekend and just wanted to see how many free agents or what's Detroit going to have to do in the offseason, and they don't have a lot. Could you imagine if Detroit was healthy on defense this year? You might as well hand them the trophy. And that's the problem, because I thought it would be Green Bay trending to be the next San Francisco, you know, a la 3-4 years ago, but it's really not. It's Detroit, and they have smart people running the show. I don't know how much money they have, but Detroit's going to be there for a while. And Green Bay's got to play catch up to them, and Goody can't swing and miss. You know, he can't swing and miss. And this receiver group was a development thing. We didn't think all 4 or 5 of them would become really, you know, good players, but we certainly thought 2 of them would be.
How about one of them?
I mean, what was Doubs?
How about just one of them, Chew? I'd settle for one.
And the problem is this: your best one in Christian Watson, if he did tear his ACL, he ain't going to be ready next year.
No.
He ain't going to be ready next year. So now you have a bigger problem. I don't know if it's a development thing, but these receivers certainly did not get better.
Well, I'll
stayed the same, or some of them got worse.
Let's just do this. For all the youth on this team from a year ago to this year, who do we think definitively is better in year 2 than they were in year 1?
Tucker Kraft.
That's about it, right? I mean, Edgerrin Cooper was great this year, right? I think Quay at times showed, but then he had the injury, so it's hard to definitively say Quay Walker is better than he was a year ago.
Carrington Valentine?
Yeah, it's just... When do they have to pay?
You didn't seem too confident in that, Josh.
Yeah, but wait. Okay. Who gave up that play at the end of the game? Wasn't it Valentine?
That was him, but it was the call.
You're saying it's the way the defense was.
He was playing outside leverage, had no help over the middle. It was Jeff Halfley got, and that's the
he hung his corner out to dry.
Got.
Yeah, and that's happened to him.
Well, the reason he did that is because they didn't have a timeout, and he didn't feel that they would have enough time to go and clock the ball.
Yes.
Yeah,
well, I mean but that's just time. Again, that's not
time
how much time was left. Yeah.
You have that sound where he talks about the 12 seconds, 15 seconds, 3 seconds yesterday? We'll see if we can find that, because Matt LaFleur did try to explain why they were playing for the boundary in that situation instead of covering the middle of the field, because he thought that's what the Bears were doing. And yet when you do it, the math doesn't math, right?
Mm-hmm. With how much time was actually left, correct. Yes, because when the Bears...
I'd love to be in that locker room today, just to see what the flavor is. You know?
Yeah, I don't know, man. So 15 seconds was what was left when they took the snap. 15 seconds.
Matt LaFleur said he knows it takes 12 to make that play, leaving 3 seconds left on the clock, which meant that they...
made a mistake.
Yeah, it's an oopsie-poopsie. That's what it is. Let's hear from Matt LaFleur talking about the end of the game. I know, Josh, you were efforting that 15-second, 12-second, 3-second one, but let's hear from him at the end of the game, number 6 on our sheet.
And then at the end of the game, that's squarely on me. Just got caught in a situation where we were planning on going for it, and they felt like Brandon could make that field goal, and hindsight's 20/20. I wish I wouldn't have taken the time out, because it gave him obviously way too much time to go down and operate. So, like I told the team, I mean, that's on me. That can't happen.
I mean, again, it's just a stacking, because I'm guessing if they get 0 yards there, he goes, okay, we're going to kick the field goal, because they lost yardage on third down. Do I want to kick this? So then he calls timeout, and it ends up being the wrong decision, because then they end up kicking the field goal. Yeah, because the obvious thing that happened there, you call the timeout because you're going to go for it, and then he got convinced to kick the field goal.
Do you think they were looking forward to the coaches? Like, we're better than this team. Let's just put a regular game plan. Let's jump on Philly.
I hope not, man. I hope not.
It certainly felt like it.
You mean like vanilla? Like putting vanilla out there so that there wasn't anything on film for the postseason?
Look at what we did last time. Tweak it a little bit, but hey, let's get a jump on Philadelphia tape.
Yeah, I mean,
it certainly felt that way to me.
There was certainly some of that, Chew, and I think you can make that argument because Josh Jacobs was taken out after 6 carries.
Yeah. Here's the thing. They can beat that team with that approach. They just can't play like caca, as Jen has said 1,000 times. Like, you could go out there, line them up, and just do your basics and beat that team, but that team didn't show up. The team capable of that kind of game.
Then they should have just gone, hey, this is going to be a backup game. Let's get these guys in. Let's go ahead and focus up. Because then maybe they still win that game if that's the approach that they take.
And maybe Christian Watson doesn't
tried to middle it.
Have the
tried to have the best of both worlds.
100% fence, right? Pick a side, one or the other. Maybe you're not in this situation. Again, maybe then you chalk it up to, hey, we might lose this game. But we get some reps for some guys. We get some tape on some guys. We see who we can continue to develop, who has a future with our franchise, and who we have to kind of part ways with. Again, if that's your goal, if that's the initiative that you go in with, fine. That wasn't what they did. Matt LaFleur said he went out there because they had looked so bad the week before. They needed to put a good game plan together. They needed to play well because he believes in momentum. He believes in needing to have some confidence rolling, to have some good juju to go into a tough postseason run where you're the 7, potentially the 6 when they were making that decision seed. 800-990-3776, reaction rolling in fast and furious on the Carbless talk and text line. We will continue to get to that. If you're on the line, stay on the line. We'll get to you right after this break on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Tune in to Behind the Bucks and the Bucks Plus Audio Network, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR benefits consultant. Behind the Bucks dives deep into Bucks and Six, a culture unknowingly created by former Bucks star Brandon Jennings. Taking a look inside the Brandon Jennings story and the origin of Bucks and Six, how it became a rallying cry, and what it truly means to Jennings and Bucks fans alike. Behind the Bucks is on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and wherever you get your podcasts. Behind the Bucks, presented by Gallagher.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
Ready for a win? Well, it's your year. At Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee, you could win over $2,000 in free play every month all year long. Just play your favorite games and you might take the stage in the It's Your Year game show. 25 winners each Thursday. There's $300,000 in cash and prizes up for grabs this January. Yeah, we think it's your year. More info at paysbig.com. Must be 21 years old to play.
Ready for a game changer? Now's the time to take your shot with Quartz, your local provider-owned and affordable health insurance. You can choose from a range of benefits to best support you and your family. Quartz is a proud partner of Aurora Healthcare, so you get to stay in the network you love. Visit quartzbenefits.com or call Saganiac Planning 262-783-6161. Saganiac Planning, a name synonymous with employee benefits and top-notch service. Quartz branded health plans are offered by Quartz Health Benefit Plans Corporation, Quartz Health Plan Corporation, and Quartz Health Insurance Corporation, which are separate legal entities. The Saganiac Planning Marquette Records. Coaches have always said, you got to make your free throws. They would have loved the 2017-18 Marquette team that, as a team, shot better than 80%. How? Marcus Howard missed 7, made 105. Andrew Rousey missed 19, made 175. Sam Hauser missed 10, made 51. And Matt Held, he missed 4 and made 28. A team better than 80% from the line. Saganiac Planning, a name synonymous with employee benefits and top-notch service.
Whether you are a local who wants to enjoy a night out or you're planning to visit our great city of Milwaukee, enjoy an artfully stylish experience at St. Kate the Arts Hotel. Hey, maybe you got friends coming in from out of town. St. Kate the Arts Hotel is ideally located in the heart of the theater district in downtown Milwaukee. With deluxe accommodations, culinary creativity, on-site art galleries, and nightly live music, you and your friends will enjoy every element of your stay at St. Kate. Learn more and book your stay at stkatearts.com. That's stkatearts.com.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why, when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Robinhood Gold members can now enjoy the VIP treatment, receiving a 3% IRA match on annual retirement contributions. With Robinhood Gold, the perks of the high net worth are now available for any net worth. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. To receive a 3% boost on annual IRA contributions, sign up at Robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. 3% match requires Robinhood Gold $5 a month for 1 year from first match. Must keep funds in IRA for 5 years. Go to Robinhood.com/boost. Robinhood Financial LLC member SIPC. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC.
Hi, this is Leanne Womack. I fell in love with country music as a child listening to my dad spin records at a radio station. I always dreamed of hearing my own songs on the radio. I set a goal and achieved it. You can do anything if you set your mind to it. Never let anyone tell you it's impossible. So if you have the chance to sit it out or dance, I hope you dance.
This message brought to you by the U.S. Air Force.
It's Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
A freaking catapult attached to his right hip. Like, I just made that up. A catapult.
That was good.
I kind of liked it. I was rolling with it, Rob.
Like a slingshot? What's it sound?
I'm calling old catapult leg from here on out.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Sportsbook is upping its game in a major move for all sports bettors out there. You can now use your Potawatomi Rewards card at most of the self-service kiosks and at the betting counter. Bet on your favorite sports and earn reward points along the way. Now that is a winning play. Bet above the rest. Learn more at paysbig.com/sportsbook. Speaking of sportsbooks, Joshy, what did we say the line is for Packers versus Eagles this week?
Started at 3.5 and climbed up to 4.5 last night at some point.
Eagles favored by 4.5. Let's go out to the Carbless phone line. Mo in Illinois, waiting patiently on the line. Mo, your reaction to not just the loss, but your confidence level for this Green Bay Packers team.
5.5.
Whoa.
What? It just moved to 5.5?
I got no confidence.
It's up to 5.5.
Oh, Mo, 5.5 now. What do you think?
5.5 is very generous. I was at the game yesterday. I lost my voice. This team is pathetic. I've been saying all along, all season long, there's just something that I don't believe in this team. I don't believe in Matt LaFleur. I have lost total confidence in him. The issue with the offense that I see is it seems like ever since the bye week, Matt LaFleur has really struggled to kind of mesh the passing game with the run game. Like, I have no issues with the offense going through Josh Jacobs. It should, right? He's the guy that sets the tone from the start, and he needs to get his carries. But I feel like Matt LaFleur gets too run-happy sometimes where he doesn't incorporate those early down play-action passes. And that's where I see that the passing game has really been affected. It's non-existent. It's putrid. And the receivers are not getting open. Yesterday, I'm at the game. I'm paying close attention to the receiver separation. There's no separation. And there's a reason Jordan Love is holding on to that ball, fighting for dear life. And the thing I'll say about the special teams, boy, oh boy, you got Rich Bisaccia, who's getting paid all that money to coach probably the worst unit in football. I mean, an 8th grade football team could play better than those boys did out there yesterday. That was horrific. And seeing it in person was even more horrific. I mean, you got Bears coming down. There's like 3 of them getting ready to wallop the Packers returning guy Jaden Reed. So this team's a mess. I have no confidence. I'm already preparing for one and done. I don't think anyone should expect a win or for them to come remotely close. And it's on to next season. There's a lot of work to do for this team.
Appreciate the call, Mo. I will tell you this. The reaction that I am seeing on the YouTube stream and on the Carbless Talk and text line is mostly frustration, like I had coming in this morning and still have. It's not like it's gone away. It's not like it has dissipated over the last 55 minutes. But Charles weighing in saying, what's up with all the negative? This is a great team that can beat anyone in the NFL. We've been down this road before in 2010. What happened that year? Man, I can't do that anymore. I cannot hang my hat or convince myself that just because a Packers team 15 years ago went on a hot run with a MVP future Hall of Fame quarterback and a litany, a long list of talented wide receivers, Gabe. I can't convince myself that because they did it that year.
That was an 8-4 team that was well on their way and already starting to trend. Rodgers gets a concussion, basically misses all of one game, has to set out another, and then they won their last 2 games of the season. Like, that's not at all what just happened here, is the Packers just lost their last 2 games of the season to fall to the 7th seed.
Did we see the Doubs inactive coming?
No, I didn't.
So, yeah, Saturday he was added to the injury report with an illness. So,
he's probably got the rotavirus that
whatever's been going around, I think, is what he ended up getting.
Got Doubs.
Here's the problem. Here's the problem for this game, and Philly's going to look at the Minnesota game when they didn't have Watson. so they could go to a different coverage because they didn't have to worry about anyone taking the top off of the defense.
Oh, you
and
played
this
man to
is
man.
already
Yeah, Vikings played a lot of man, didn't they?
Yep.
Yeah, but I mean, this is the number one defense in the NFL who creates pressure with 4, which allows them to do certain things. So LaFleur, it just seems like his scheming guy's open, and I know it's the end of the season. You can only do so much when you're trying to do that, but he seems like he's been a little flat as of late. There's not a lot of wow plays. Yay or nay?
Yeah, I think that's part of it. And part of it's also the way, Jordan's been playing. There were a couple of guys, the pass that he had to Musgrave, Musgrave was pretty wide the bleep open. Get that ball up in the air where he doesn't have to slide down and catch it to the point where the officials thought he trapped it. Get that thing in the air, hit it up, and he's going to be able to catch and presumably run. I think he's over the I have the ball in my hands, I can now stay on my own 2 feet thing. I think he overcame that last year. But it's kind of everything. Because, at times there are guys open. Jordan doesn't see them. Then there are other times where nobody's open, so Jordan has to eat the ball. It's just nothing's in sync right now.
And I will say the thing that I wanted to see from Jordan Love was his ability to go out there early, right? We've talked about how, Jordan, why can't you start playing at a high level in the first half of the game? Why does it always take you guys with your backs against the wall and you got to score on this drive in order to keep this game competitive, in order to keep the Packers in it? And then you sort of see the 10 completions in a row from Jordan Love. And I wanted to see that in the first half. He didn't have the opportunity in the second half because of the injury, obviously. So it was imperative to show that he could go out there and they could put together some solid drives, some productive drives early on. And I didn't see it. I just didn't see it from Jordan Love.
Yeah, he's just because Gabe, we did the all 22, and I was pretty hard on him, and it's clear that he's not seeing things. There was one play in there. It's like he's looking off a safety that's already removed on a slant, and I think it was Jaden Reed was wide open early, and I can't understand what he's doing because the defense already gave you what you wanted, and he doesn't see it. So is he like a hitter, Gabe? Is he like?
Yeah, he's not seeing
looking for one pitch.
He's not picking up the seams on the slider.
Yeah.
Doesn't
it feel like that a little bit? Yeah.
Did I think of that? No, but I'm also not a deep thinker like you are. So this is, this is the reason why.
Stop it. You're encouraging him like you are.
Is there any part
bad behavior?
Is there any part of anyone that feels maybe we're slightly overreacting?
No.
Hear me out. Mo, who just called, sound depressed as I've ever heard that guy. 6 weeks ago, it sounded like he was on the team and ready to go out there and knock some heads off with the rest of them. Now Matt LaFleur is a fraud. Matt LaFleur, remember what he did with Malik Willis when everyone was counting him out? Yeah, they haven't been great.
But that's the thing about this league. You can't be static. You can't be static.
This team is in a rebuild. Things haven't been great. I understand that. You would love to beat the Bears. But isn't there a piece of you that's this team's probably still ahead of schedule? They were 11-6. Are we talking about a 9-8 football team here? There is an aspect of, they're probably a little bit better than we're giving them credit for, and they laid an absolute egg to end the season, and it feels really bad because it's the Bears. But Matt LaFleur, we're calling him a fraud? Matt LaFleur, fraud? What do you want out there? You want to go hire Doug Peterson? Is that what you want?
He's available now.
But Josh, it does feel like they step back a little bit.
They were better. They're a better team than they were last year. It just doesn't feel the same at the end of the season, heading to the playoffs, and now they're facing down a team that everyone thinks is much better. But
but you had a couple hang your hat wins. You had Kansas City hang your hat, you had Detroit hang your hat, and then you had Dallas hang your hat. What's a hang your hat this year? There's no coat rack.
I think it's
there's no coat rack
for hanging hats.
You're going to go back to Houston when Houston was banged up and say, great win. Yeah, great win.
Yeah, everybody's banged up. We're doing the retroactive, you would have loved to beat one of your division teams. It just so happens your division is the best one of all time.
Well, but I think that's where a lot of the, sinking your stomach kind of comes from. Because Chewy pointed out, Detroit's not going anywhere next year. It's not like they've got,
Correct.
It's not like Jahmyr Gibbs and Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jamison Williams are all free agents and they got to make a decision, right? Those guys aren't going anywhere, and it's going to be hard to match that level of talent.
Do you think Brian Gutekunst looks at this team and says, finished product, we're there?
No,
Or do you think he
obviously
thought that before
not.
the season?
But I also think and look, I love where you're coming from. I love this idea of the Packers are better than we are reacting to this morning, and they probably are. But then you have to roll in there. Jordan Love injured. Could have gone back in. I know. Jordan Love gets hurt, though. The Christian Watson thing looms large. And I know there seems to be differing opinions of Christian Watson's value on this team. I saw a bunch of it yesterday. Like, he's a bum. He's injury prone. Get rid of him. Cut him. Don't need him. I still think Christian Watson has immense value on this team. And I think he makes your offense even that much more one-dimensional if he's gone for the year. If you've lost him for the year, you are that much more one-dimensional, which gives the opponent, Philly in this case, an easier row to hoe. You know, you don't have, if our criticisms are as follows, if our criticisms are Jaden Reed struggles in man coverage, what should Philly do against Jaden Reed? Cover him man-to-man. If the criticism is they're going to ride Josh Jacobs, what should Philly do? Load the box. If the criticism, who's going to stretch the field? Who's going to be that? Is it going to be Tucker Kraft? Do they start rolling him in and expecting him to be a safety blanket, a safety valve for? I don't know, but that's where I start to be pessimistic about the likelihood of them hanging with Philadelphia. And then you have a one-and-done season. You have a one-and-done in the postseason. You go in as the 7th seed. You made it as tough as possible for yourself with the games that you lost this year and the way that the division shook out and everything like that. That's where I just sit here and go, I don't think the team got better. It doesn't feel like, did they add pieces where they should have been better? They should have been more exponentially better this year than I think we saw on the field.
Yeah, I think we just fast forwarded our beliefs because of what happened at the end of the season. I think we got a sense of a team that was way ahead of where they were. Am I disappointed that they're likely going to be one and done? Yes, for sure. I thought the team's ceiling, though, was probably an NFC Championship game. And falling short of that sucks, but you're not one of the 4 best teams. Well, shoot. That's the reality of the NFL. Not a lot of teams are.
But
there's 28 other teams.
They're not one of the 4 best teams in the NFC. And so they've got a lot longer road to hoe going forward.
They're definitively worse than Philly, Detroit, Minnesota, and you're going to put someone above them?
I mean, they're the 7 seed, man.
Yeah, because are the other teams better? The other 2 that are in the playoffs?
Let me ask you this, Joshy. If they went head-to-head with Washington today, who would you take?
Packers. What about Washington instills any sort of confidence? They barely beat Trey Lance.
Well, yeah, but they also sat their guys.
Yeah.
They were playing Marcus Mariota. Like, who cares? That was a preseason game. Like, they beat the Eagles. Like, they've got the Eagles in their division. They went and they beat the Eagles.
Great.
You know? So that's not anything the Packers did this year.
Who's favored in that game?
Where is it? Neutral site? Okay, so the Packers are favored by what, a point?
Yeah. Better team.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, but here's the problem, Joshy. What fan base feels better? Because they didn't play it again. Because being good to Washington right now is fine. Being good to Packers fans is not. We measure ourselves by Super Bowls, and we got a road to hoe? Hoe to road?
Which
one is it? Is it road to hoe?
You're the farmer in this group. How do you not know road to hoe?
Yeah, this seems like
we got a road to hoe.
Should be.
Why do farmers leave trees in their fields again?
So they can eat lunch in the shade. That's a true statement.
It's true-ish. It's true adjacent. There is some truth to it.
I got your back.
Reaction rolling in fast and furious this morning. We will continue getting to Packers fans' reaction to not just the Bears' loss. It is not just that. It is your confidence level going into the game against Philadelphia. And Matt LaFleur says we got to do the things that we do well. We got to hang our hat on the things we do well. What exactly is that? Let us know. Fill us in. Right after this.
Never miss out on a second of the show. Find Jen, Gabe, and Chewy on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand. Sponsored by Celsius Essential Energy Drink.
Got a bunch of accidents to deal with. 2 accidents in Kenosha County, one on the northbound side at Highway C, one on the southbound side. The northbound side, we do have the left lane blocked with that. Then we've also got an accident in Sheboygan. Northbound 43 has the left lane blocked just north of Foster Road. Then we've got a crash on 43. This one is on northbound at Hampton Avenue. Shoulders are blocked there. Then we've also got a crash at southbound 94 at North Avenue. Avenue. The right shoulder is blocked. We got about 3 different accidents in the Marquette on the ramp from eastbound to northbound. We're going to have some lane closures with that one. And then we've also got one on southbound to westbound in the Marquette as well. Another accident on westbound 94 at 28th Street. Left lane's blocked with that. And then one more on eastbound 894 at Loomis with the right lane blocked. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today. Morning lake snow showers. Otherwise, partly cloudy skies, breezy up to an inch on the lakefront to the north, 1 to 3 inches near lake in Milwaukee, 3 to 6 near the lakefront to the south, a high of 29. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 17.
On 94.5 ESPN, brought to you by Z-Bart of Greater Milwaukee. Want that mirror finish on your car? You need Z-Gloss by Z-Bart. Z-Gloss is a 3-layer ceramic coating that not only gives your car that mirror finish, it protects it from everything that Mother Nature can throw at it. Visit zbart.com for more information.
The Packers' 11-game winning streak over the Bears is over after a 24-22 loss at Lambeau Field. However, the big story coming out of the game, the health of Jordan Love. The Green Bay starting quarterback left in the second quarter with a right elbow injury. After the game, Love talked about what happened on the play that caused the injury.
I landed on it on the ground, I think. Just kind of pretty much lost all feeling in my hand and pretty much just went numb.
The Packers will be the 7th seed in the NFC playoffs and will visit the number 2 seed Philadelphia Eagles this coming wildcard weekend.
This has been your Green and Gold Fix on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Z-Bart of Greater Milwaukee. You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee, a Good Karma Brands radio station. Showtime. The right way to start your day. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Everybody deep, and it's fielded on the far sideline. It's Blackwell, a little bit of trickery in the special teams game, and Blackwell is going to take it all the way for a Chicago touchdown. And the motion man, Jaden Reed, gets the carry. And Reed fumbles the football, scooped up by Jonathan Owens. And Owens takes it inside the Green Bay 20.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
And Jacobs, heavy on the ground, diving for the goal line and a touchdown. Now they've got to overcome 1st and 20. It's DJ Moore with a catch. He fumbles the football, and it's recovered by Green Bay. Good snap, good hold. The kick on the way by Santos, and it is good. The Bears' losing streak comes to an end on the final play of the regular season.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue with Gabe Neitzel and Mark Chamorro. Here's Jen Latta.
Running her mouth, she wants to ride it, she's trying to hide it. I'm cool as ever, she's too excited. Her man look like
Vent away, Packers fans. Chef Ed weighing in on the carbless talk and text line saying, Packers, Bucks, Brewers, Badgers, Marquette, Admirals, it's all the same. I'm in my 60s and I'm tired of making excuses for our team's failures every frickin' season. Thanks for letting me vent. If you want to vent, 800-990-3776. That's the carbless talk and text line. You can also get your reaction in on our YouTube page, ESPN Milwaukee, where we are streaming the show this morning and each and every morning. We are asking you guys. Matt LaFleur said, we got to do the things we think we can have success with going forward in the playoffs against Philadelphia first and foremost. What is that? What are the things that the Packers do well? Because I can tell you what they didn't do well yesterday. You heard the punt gaff there in the comeback, in the open that we just had here on the show. You heard the punt gaff. They went 3 of 11 on 3rd and 4th downs yesterday against the Chicago Bears. They had 2 fumbles, Reed, Malik. You obviously lost Christian Watson to what is maybe, hypothetically, it's looking like a season-ending injury. Jordan Love gets hurt. And Malik Willis, that narrative that he could go out there and lead your team to victory, couldn't. That's out the window as well. So again, it is not so much that they lost to the Chicago Bears, although I know there are fans who care about that significantly. It is how crappy you look, how doo-doo you look headed into the playoffs, guys. This is the most important time of the season. I can take losses in the regular season if you punch your ticket to the postseason, but you got to look like a playoff team. You got to look like a formidable team. And there was nothing that I saw on the field yesterday, guys, that looked like Green Bay should be a serious contender, should be taken seriously in the postseason. Chewy, tell me I'm wrong.
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. But it's amazing how quick it flipped, because 2 weeks ago, everyone was saying this is a team you don't want to play, hottest team in football. Now 2 weeks, it's like, I mean, you saw the line move, and there's a reason why the line is moving. It's because everyone's betting on Philadelphia.
I should probably make sure that didn't move again, huh?
I mean, that's quick. It went from, what'd you say it opened up at 3.5?
3.5.
And it's what?
Already at 5.5.
8:12 in the morning, and it's already moved 2 points. So, I don't know. This, to me, can they beat Philly? Yeah, they can beat Philly. But to me, this has now become an attitude thing. You know, not so much we have no chance. Confidence is so big, and that's why you have teams that are wild card teams win the Super Bowl. You know, look at no one wanted to play. People in the AFC are probably happy that Cincinnati didn't get in, because that's a hot team. This team hasn't been a hot team all year. Show me a stretch where they were hot.
Well, I mean,
the Saints?
They were hot.
That's what we're hanging on.
But I mean, Chewy, since that bye, they did get pretty hot. You know, even though they lost to the Lions, they still put up 31 points on that defense. You know, you win.
I think they had 5 wins in a row where they had 30-plus points, right? And that's
or
where
five games in a row, because they scored 31 in the loss to Detroit.
Thank you. Yes, Miserable Goat weighing in on the YouTube page saying, "What do we do well? Well, we're good at not sacking the quarterback. We're also good at slow starts. Last but not least, we're great at not holding the lead when necessary." Anything I've missed?
I don't think so.
Those are things that the Packers are good at, Chew.
Is this the last game of the weekend, too?
No.
Sunday, 4:30?
No. They've got, so you have 2 games on Saturday, triple header Sunday, and then Monday Night Football.
Oh, I just wish it was right out the gate. Don't you guys wish it was right out the gate? Saturday, first game?
No, that has literally that game. Every time the Texans have played a wild card game, that's where the Houston Texans play.
Really?
First game out of the gate. It's literally happened every time in the history of their franchise.
Deshaun Watson with a huge upset in that game when he was still there. Like, that's how long they've been doing that.
Every time they're a wild card, they kick off wild card weekend. It's wild. I'm okay with the time slot that they've got.
You are?
Yeah, kind of ease into it. Maybe, watch some fun football before we get to the stress-induced playoff football of the Green Bay Packers.
So we talked about last year, and we talked about how they beat the Dallas Cowboys and how everybody was like, oh, this was a fantastic win. Some even calling it the best win of Matt LaFleur's career without Aaron Rodgers. And now they face the Philadelphia Eagles. If they lose to Philadelphia, guys, given everything that we've said, how disappointed will you be? Will it have been a foregone conclusion? Will you be like, well, yeah, but everything we saw led us to this outcome, led us to this conclusion. I'm not all that surprised. Or will you be like, oh, this was a failure. You had to take a step. You had to win that game and win another game in order to have proof of concept, in order to show that they are growing. I'm not saying that this team should win the Super Bowl this year. But last year with Jordan Love under center, this is the second year with Jordan Love as the primary starter. You added some pieces in Josh Jacobs. Defensively, you added Xavier McKinney. Shouldn't this team take a step further in order to feel like you are moving towards the Super Bowl? Or, Gabe, are you just like, end the misery, end the season, get back to the drawing board, and live to fight another year?
No, I want them to win, but this is where I kind of side with Josh. I mean, you did take a step forward with 11 wins. Like, if the only way for them to take a step forward is to get to the NFC Championship game, then nothing that happens in the regular season matters, right? Like, this is, I mean, to Matt LaFleur's point, the one thing we love about the NFL is it is an any given Sunday. Like, anybody can win. It's a one game. It's not a series. You only have one game to try to get it done, and either you get it done or not. And if the only measure of success for this team was getting to that NFC Championship game a step further than they did a year ago, then the regular season is obviously completely meaningless. If that's the only measure of success that you can potentially have. Because, Chewy, I would make the argument that when you guys were, building up, and yes, you finally broke through and went to that NFC Championship game in 1995.
Yeah.
But, I felt you guys were better in 94 than you were in 93. And then you took the step and won the division. Even though you guys made it the exact same way, and you guys got to host a playoff game in 94 versus going on the road in 93. I just don't think that playoff success can be the only measure of, well, either this is success or a failure. Because then otherwise, everything that we're talking about right now absolutely means nothing.
But it means something. And again, this goes back to, like, how do you look? How do you look when you take the field? I don't sit here and believe that the end-all, be-all has to be win, 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 win. I believe that you can learn from losses. I think most people in the league believe that. So I don't sit here and chalk things up, throw my hands in the air every time they lose a game. But it's the way that they looked yesterday, your final opportunity to show all the things that you have been criticized for in the weeks leading up to, in particular last week against the Vikings, right? We all know what the deficiencies are. We all said this is what they have to be better at. If they want to make a playoff run, these are the things they have to be better at. Bears game provided a perfect opportunity to show any number of those, and they showed none. Like, that's the frustrating part. And again, if you want to hang your hat on McManus, fine. Go ahead, fans. I get people jumping in the talking text line, the carbless talking text line, saying, oh, but McManus, 55-yarder in the cold. That is impressive. Are you going to win against the Philadelphia Eagles with a bunch of field goals? Is that the plan?
So does the 11 wins in the regular season versus the 9 last year, does that do anything for you? I mean, so that's meaningless.
I think what bothers me the most about this team this year, Gabe, is how inconsistent they have been.
But guess what? You're the youngest team in the league. Guess what that's going to lead to? Guess what youth always does? Whatever sport you're talking about, guess what youth is going to be? Inconsistent. That's what they're going to be. That's what youth is. When you insist upon being the youngest team in the league, you're going to have these inconsistencies. And now, again, I think it's on Brian Gutekunst that whenever this season comes to a close, you can't be the youngest team in the league next year. If you want to actually take steps forward, you can't be continuously be the youngest team in the league. Otherwise, you're going to have these inconsistencies. You're going to have
it's got to be a sweet spot, though, Gabe, because you can't be the oldest team in the league because that hasn't shown a proven track record of success either. So, like, there's got to be a sweet spot.
There's a huge gap between 1 and 32.
So is
it
just adding a couple of veterans? Is it just because you can manipulate those numbers? You add an MVS to the roster, and all of a sudden, poof, you're not the youngest team in the league anymore. You can manipulate the roster. It's an inexact science to talk about simply them being young as to why they are inconsistent. You could have one player. At one point, we had the snapper and the holder, and they were the oldest players on the team. Those positions don't really matter, do they?
Well,
if you had older, holder, and snapper.
But yeah, you need to take a look around, and just about every significant piece offensively is still on a rookie contract, except for Jordan Love.
You've said it throughout the season. You need superstars.
Yeah,
you need superstars. Who's a superstar? See, I thought, and for me, it's all development. You think Rashawn Gary's going to be better in his 6th year than he was in his 5th year? No, you know what a player is by their 3rd year. It's just, and I can tell you this right now because I'm moving forward. I hope they win. I don't think they will, but I hope they do. But it's all about when you got to fill holes at the receiver position and the D line and the corner. Do you bring Stokes back now because it looks like Jair's gone?
I think you can bring him back on because he's actually
him back.
Yeah, on like a 1-year deal.
They can't even get him on the field.
Stokes,
Eric Stokes, cornerback.
Yeah, he's been playing,
but not well.
Yeah, he actually has been. I mean,
I didn't think Stokes has been playing well at all.
He doesn't have like that pass breakup. That streak is gone. But he hasn't been giving up receptions. He hasn't been giving up touchdowns.
I'm going to pull up some Eric Stokes numbers.
He's He's actually been playing decent enough where I think you can bring him back on a 1-year deal. You give him the A.J. Dillon treatment where you give him 1 year if you want to put some incentives in there. But
Kevin King exactly went through this process.
Yeah. I think that's what you do. And then
you just hope it goes better this time.
Yeah, you hope it goes better than it did for Kevin King. And the same thing with A.J. Dillon, right? If it doesn't work out, in A.J.'s case, he got hurt. But if Stokes, doesn't work out, you give him a 1-year contract that's low incentive. And if somebody surpasses him, somebody surpasses him. You just need bodies at that position at the same time.
I stand corrected. According to Pro Football Focus, he has been playing very well since Week 10. Mm-hmm. I stand corrected.
Yeah.
Eric Stokes.
Again, we like to make fun of him because of the breakup, because the lack of breakups, I should say. But
Past breakups.
He has been doing well.
Because I don't know anything about Eric Stokes' personal lives. He could have had many breakups over the course of the last few seasons. That's distinctly possible. Who could say? Past breakups specifically.
Has he had more personal relationship breakups or past breakups?
Well, you'd only have to have one.
Just a question.
I don't know. All I know is you'd like to have a stud at every one of those positions. right? You'd like a stud receiver, you'd like a stud D end, and you would like a stud cornerback.
But what would you prefer of the three? If you could only have one shoe, which would you put your money on?
I would take receiver because it always gives you the opportunity to win in a shootout. You know, if you got it's going back to when Aaron Rodgers had all those receivers. Defense gives up 35, then we got to score 42.
Reaction rolling in on the Carbless ESPN Milwaukee talk and text line. I'm with you, Josh. This is a total overreaction. The Packers are a good team who just need to get their act together. Well, look, I agree with that sentence. They're a good team that needs to get their act together.
Yes.
You're out of time. You're out of time. Nothing that they have done over the last few weeks indicates to me that they are going to, quote unquote, get their act together against one of the best defenses in the league that has Jalen Hurts under center, that has Saquon Barkley hoping to chew up the turf. What even do they call that stadium now?
Lincoln Financial.
Oh, it is just the Link.
Yeah.
I didn't know if it had gone through other iterations.
A lot of places have.
Corporate buy-ins.
I understand why you would be gun shy.
All right, good. It's
because
the Link.
Arrowhead has a finance. I don't know who the sponsor is at Arrowhead anymore, and all these other places. Seattle's had like 7 different names, I feel, over the last 3 years. Yeah, it's not good.
Adam weighing in saying, Jen, congratulations on almost completing the reverse sweep of the division from your bold take in the preseason that they would sweep the NFC North. Yeah, that went sideways for me, didn't it?
I mean, again, he was supposed to be a bold take, not necessarally going to come true. But...
The boldest, apparently.
Well, they swept. They were just the broom, though. That's the problem.
They were the dirt.
No, they were not the broom.
They were being swept.
They were the dust particles and the dust bunnies and all of the stuff that you throw in your dustpan. That's what they were this year. We got to take a break on. We got to take a break on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. We'll get to more of your reaction as it rolls in fast and furious on the Carbless Talk and Text line this morning on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN.
We've got a bunch of accidents to deal with. 2 accidents in Kenosha County, one on the northbound side at Highway C, one on the southbound side. The northbound side, we do have the left lane blocked with that. Then we've also got an accident in Sheboygan. Northbound 43 has the left lane blocked just north of Foster Road. Then we've got a crash on 43. This one is on northbound at Hampton Avenue. Shoulders are blocked there. Then we've also got a crash at southbound 94 at North Avenue. The right shoulder is blocked. We've got about 3 different accidents in the Marquette on the ramp from eastbound to northbound. We're going to have some lane closures with that one. And then we've also got one on southbound to westbound in the Marquette as well. Another accident on westbound 94 at 28th Street. Left lane's blocked with that. And then one more on eastbound 894 at Loomis with the right lane blocked. And checking the TMJ4 Storm King forecast today. Morning lake snow showers. Otherwise, partly cloudy skies, breezy up to an inch on the lakefront to the north, 1 to 3 inches near lake in Milwaukee, 3 to 6 near the lakefront to the south, a high of 29. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 17. Weather is brought to you by Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center in Waukesha. Join their 2-man scramble tournament and play Whistling Straits for a chance to win cash through the 31st. Sign up at wisconsinindoorgolfcenter.com. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Are you heading into the new year with the same old joint pain? Or maybe you experienced a new injury that gives you joint pain that is nagging you? Hey, this is ESPN Wisconsin's Brad Nortman. There is no better time than the start of the year to refresh, renew, and say no to that joint pain. QC Kinetics is your go-to solution to get moving again in 2025. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative medicine and joint preservation. They are right here in Greenfield and Mequon under the leadership of Medical Director Dr. Ashley Caravelli. When I visited the Greenfield location, QC Kinetics exposed me to a whole new world of regenerative medicine. So much in their toolkit to be able to get you your life back. They helped me, and they're going to help you with your own personalized journey to be able to make sure that you are starting 2025 back, active, and living a pain-free life. Call my friends at QC Kinetics for your free consultation. Call QC Kinetics today at 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
Hey fans! Welcome back to Fansville's Cheers and Tears. Oh. Okay, so like everybody deals with losing, right? To a rival on a last-second field goal. Whatever, it's fine. I'm totally fine. But I cope with losing with an ice-cold Dr. Pepper. Those 23 flavors are like so delicious. They totally wash away the pain of your college football team taking a big fat L. College football. It's a pepper thing.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Are you going to answer the question?
What's the question?
Can the Packers win without Aaron Jones on Sunday?
Yes. Will you stop? You know what he is? He's like the little devil on the shoulder.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Back here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. We have Rob Domofsky coming up in just a few moments, but before we get to that, guys, Gabe, you said you heard Jason Wilde yesterday on the postgame show talking about Christian Watson's injury, and the prognosis from Jason was not great. What did he say?
Yeah, he thinks it's an ACL just based on the way that Matt LaFleur was talking, based on the way that the training staff had kind of been acting, and the way that everything was pointing based on his long tenure as a beat reporter covering an NFL team. These are all the telltale signs of somebody who tore his ACL and is getting an MRI, not to find out if he tore it, but to confirm it today.
Chew, your reaction to Christian Watson going down on a non-contact injury on the field and what that means, not just for the Packers going forward, but for him.
Bad timing, obviously, because he's probably, if it is an ACL, won't have the surgery for a couple weeks because he'll strengthen it, which puts you well into next season for recovery. My guess is there's a chance he may not even play next year, so there's a hole you have to fill. Do we know if it was the same knee that was banged up?
It was not. It was the other knee.
It wasn't? Because it was weird. I mean, it was... He didn't really even seem like he was really putting his foot in the ground. It's almost like he tripped or something. It's just a very bizarre injury. And that's going to hurt. I mean, I feel bad for the kid because they're going to need him. But I'm sure there's going to be the debate. Should he have played? Shouldn't he have played? The fact that it was a non-contact injury, that's just one of those freak things, and it's unfortunate.
I wonder if he doesn't play the game if Doubs is healthy.
I don't think he does.
Yeah, LaFleur said as much.
Mm-hmm.
He said he would?
He would not have played had Doubs been healthy.
He would have been in the inactive spot that Doubs was in.
Yeah.
So that's a tough spot. I like Christian Watson. I know that we have talked about his growth and maturity. Jason has lauded him for the way that he handled the Romeo Doubs thing earlier, sort of has emerged as a leader for those wide receivers. Unfortunately, it doesn't help the narrative that he's injury prone. Of course, this doesn't help this idea that he can't stay on the field and that he is unavailable. And whether fair or unfair, that is something that is going to follow Christian Watson around. So just another tough break. It is the NFL. Happens a lot. Happens to a lot of guys. Seems like Christian Watson might be just the latest guy to succumb to a season-ending injury. We got to take a break because we got to get to Rob Domofsky. I'm sure there will be plenty of insight from Rob, and maybe he will steer us straight. Look, there's a possibility that Rob will go, you guys are being way too negative about the Packers' playoff chances this morning. There's a chance. Just
nice
trying. Just trying. A for effort?
Sure, yeah.
Rob Domofsky
B-
coming up next.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Lots of accidents all over the place, and we're looking at some icy conditions on the roads. Just giving you an idea of what we're dealing with here. Northbound 41 at Main Street, left lane blocked with a crash there. The ramp from eastbound 94 to northbound 43 in the Marquette is closed right now because of an accident. Also, westbound 94 at the ramp from 28th Street, left lane blocked there. That's backing things up into the Marquette. And then we've also got an accident right about at North Avenue. Actually, 2 accidents there off on the right shoulder on southbound 43. That's going to be affecting your ride. We've also got the right lane blocked on 894 eastbound right at Loomis.
It was good.
Traffic is brought to you by the Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center in Waukesha. Join their 2-man scramble tournament and play Whistling Straits for a chance to win cash through the 31st. Sign up at wisconsinindoorgolfcenter.com. And check out the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. We got a winter weather advisory until 4 o'clock today. Morning lake snow showers, otherwise partly cloudy and breezy. You got up to an inch on the lakeside to the north, 1 to 3 inches near Milwaukee, 3 to 6 near the lakefront to the south. A high of 29. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 17. Weather is brought to you by National Liquor Mart at 16th and National in Milwaukee, packed with the best beer, liquor, seltzer, and spirit deals in town. Open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily, where your satisfaction is their plan of action. Central. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Yeah. On the phone.
Let's get the latest from Lambeau. This is your green and gold fix on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Tri-City National Bank, your hometown bank. Tri-City National Bank offers a full suite of personal and business banking products at 28 convenient locations. Open your account today at the community bank that was voted Milwaukee's best bank. Learn more at tcnb.com.
The Packers' 11-game winning streak over the Bears is over after a 24-22 loss at Lambeau Field. However, the big story coming out of the game, the health of Jordan Love. The Green Bay starting quarterback left in the second quarter with a right elbow injury. After the game, Love talked about what happened on the play that caused the injury.
I landed on it on the ground, I think. Just kind of pretty much lost all feeling in my hand and pretty much just went numb.
The Packers will be the 7th seed in the NFC playoffs and will visit the number 2 seed Philadelphia Eagles this coming wildcard weekend.
This has been your green and gold fix on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Tri-City National Bank.
Family's bigger? Out of space? We can help you find a new place. Just make Tri-City your first call. We're here to help, loan large or small. Tri-City National Bank, equal housing lender, NMLS 433891.
Great Midwest Bank has document imaging technology from James Imaging Systems, a 100% locally owned and managed business technology company. The bank's IT systems administrator, Michael Quizan, comments on the value of local.
We call on them at any point, they're there. We ask them any questions that we have, they're there.
James Imaging Systems, local business technology solutions, local support, local accountability. Luther Gray, Director of Ticket Operations and Group Sales for the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra.
If an issue does arise, they're very prompt, polite, and professional. It makes me feel empowered because I find it very easy to resolve something.
James Imaging Systems client, Al Leidinger, President of Matheson Manufacturing, summarized the benefit of local.
James Imaging has been a really good partner with us from the beginning.
Go with local. Go with James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com.
Ready to tackle your home improvement project this winter? Exterior Pros and Baths is here to help you score big with quality home exterior and shower upgrades. As a 5-time President's Club Award winner, Exterior Pros is not playing around. With flexible financing, it's never been easier to invest in your home without breaking the bank. Get started today and save $2,000. Visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274. That's 262-800-4274. Trust the pros and kick off your home transformation today.
Stay up to date on the green and gold all season. The Green and Gold Fix podcast is brought to you by Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Luxury stay, elite play, unwind in sophisticated comfort. Win big, dine, and experience the events in Milwaukee.
We need a new intro for this year, though.
Consider it done, Rob.
ESPN's #1 source for green and gold information.
The game has to be a continuation of the trend they're on. They can't just sort of go in on a level that, they've been at. They probably do need to play their best game, but I do think it's trending in the right direction.
A prolific golfer?
I was overly harsh about Gabe's golf game because I played terrible yesterday.
And noted hoops head.
If you shoot 60% from the free throw line, you're a bad free throw shooter. If you're 60% in the red zone, I don't think that's good.
It's Rob Domofsky time on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
This better be a great segment.
Looking for perspective from our friend Rob Domofsky this morning as the Packers fall to the Bears yesterday. Rob, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Meh. What did I tell you earlier, Gabe? Somebody wrote in the Carbless ESPN Milwaukee Talking text line, or maybe it was even on the YouTube stream, Packers are mid-AF.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah.
That's something that your son will have to explain to you, Rob.
No, I got that one. I got that. I know what mid is.
And AF. Well, you know what AF is. Matt LaFleur says, we got to do the things that we think we can have success with. What would those be at this point?
Well, I think what they did well this year was run the football and, take the ball away on defense. Those are the things that they kind of hang their hats on with this team. But what they're going to need to do, though, is add some explosive plays, which were completely, for the most part, absent yesterday. And that's going to be really difficult without Christian Watson. It's most likely a season-ending injury for him. Looks like an ACL. They'll have the test today that confirm that. But, the indications I got were that it was most likely a torn ACL. And you can tell that from the way Matt LaFleur was, answered the question. Usually he says, we'll have to get some more information. And when he said yesterday, it's not looking good. That tells you what you need to know. So, look, I know they're going in the playoffs on a sour note. There's no question about it. I still think they could make a run. I also think that, they're probably the progression would be nice to see from last year to this year. I think that we did see it a little bit in the regular season. I ultimately think that, it's still Jordan Love's second year as a starter. We talked about this a lot during the season. Sometimes you take a little bit of a step back in year two. I really think that 2025 was sort of the ultimate peak to what they were trying to build, where they're going to have, they would have had all their players, back for another year. Obviously, Watson's probably going to be gone for quite a bit of next year. But I think that's sort of the way when Brian Gutekunst said, when he drafted those young receivers the same year Jordan was starting as a quarterback, for the first time, he said, I wanted these guys to grow together. And I think that's still the plan. Now, it doesn't look great right now, but I still think that plan is on par.
Do you know what Lucas Van Ness is, Rob? Is he a bust?
Do I know what he is? Yeah. He's a guy who has
I kind of like even with these receivers, Rob, I don't see him getting any better. I think I know what they are. I don't think any of them are going to turn into a T. Higgins or Justin Jefferson, which I think is what this team needs.
I was going to say that's the one thing, Chewy, with the receivers. We'll get to Van Ness in a minute. But the one thing with the receivers is, they told us all offseason about how they don't need a number one, and it's great to have all these guys because any one of them can go get 100. Sometimes you need one, though, right? Like sometimes when in big games and big moments, sometimes you have to have a guy who is going to get you the ball, like is going to catch the ball, is going to get you a first down, is going to get you a touchdown in the red zone. And, right now they don't have it at the receiver position. I still wonder if Tucker Kraft can become that, the go-to, like a little bit of a Gronkowski kind of a guy, a Kittle kind of a guy like that in that sense at some point. And again, he's only in his second year. I think they need to target him more. I think they need to get him in a position where he is the number one option on more plays. But you're right. They don't have a number one. And this is the problem with not having one. As for Van Ness, he's not even starting, I don't believe. Like I tweeted the snap counts, and I'm not sure where his related to. I got to look at him and Kingsley Enagbare, but Enagbare started the game alongside Rashawn Gary. Now I realize starting doesn't always matter, but Van Ness played 27 snaps, and Kingsley Enagbari played 35, and Rashawn Gary played 28. Now I realize that some of those guys weren't playing, a full load. Kenny Clark barely played in the second half, but yeah, when you're a first round pick and you're at the end of year 2 and you're not one of the top 2, defensive ends / edge rushers, that's a problem.
Well, it sounds like you think that Tucker Kraft could potentially be a star. And Rob, I've asked you this. I feel a lot over the last 2 years. I feel there's not enough top-level talent on this roster after you get past Jacobs and McKinney. So because they are the youngest team in the league, other than Tucker Kraft, is there anybody else you believe could grow into a star on this roster?
I think if Romeo Doubs were in the right headspace all the time, and I think he has the potential. I think on the defensive side of the ball, I think Edgerrin Cooper, Javon Bullard, Evan Williams have that potential. I think there's possibilities there. You can have a lot of B players, but you still need a couple A's. And I was looking at this the other day. The 2010 team that won the Super Bowl was I believe the 5th youngest team in the league. So you can be now they had 3 guys that were near the end of their career in Woodson, Chad Clifton, and Donald Driver. But Donald Driver really wasn't much of a factor that year. But that team was still really young. They were the 5th youngest team in the league. Their average age, I think, was 25 and a half years. This team's average age is 25.1, youngest team in the league. It's not, you don't necessarily always have to have a ton of veterans. You need some. If they can go out and supplement in free agency, another guy or two like they did this offseason with Jacobs and McKinney, because those were obviously huge additions. Now, doesn't mean they're going to work out as well. And I know like the cornerback market is not very strong. They need a corner desperately. But I think with a combination of another free agent addition or two, and maybe hitting on another draft pick or two, I think they could be right there. It's fun. Well, I feel like we're talking about this is a conversation we should be having after they lose to the Eagles next week. Not today,
I guess any problem though that I've always had with any comparison to the 2010 team, Rob, like Greg Jennings was light years ahead of anything they have right now at wide receiver. Like, he had already been established at that point. Charles Woodson was coming off a Defensive Player of the Year. Nick Collins, like, they had the top-end roster. I mean, even the young guys were a lot better than the young guys they have now. Like, they don't have anybody who looks like Clay Matthews, who is only in year 2. Like, those guys were ascending to superstardom. Same thing with Aaron Rodgers. And, yes, they are the youngest team in the league, but I have to squint real hard if I think that Romeo Doubs is going to be anything like Greg Jennings was.
Yeah, and Jordy Nelson was in, year 3, right?
Yeah.
And he was still in a little bit. Heck, he had 3 drops in the Super Bowl. Now he had 100 yards plus in the Super Bowl. And you could have argued that he could have been the MVP of the Super Bowl if he hadn't had those drops. But, I get your point. And there's no complete equal comparison across the board. But I do think that it's a little bit like, teams just don't, you could have a one-year wonder team, right? And you could make a run. But I don't think that's the way the Packers, for right or wrong, I don't think that's the way the Packers view it. They build it as a building progression, from 92 to 93 to 94, 95, and so on, from 08, 09, 10. I mean, those are like 3-year chunks, right? Like, you guys made the playoffs in 93, starting in 93, right? And it wasn't until 96 that you got there. So that's a 4-season chunk. With Rodgers, 08, they didn't make the playoffs. They make it 09, go to the Super Bowl in 10. I think this is an organization. And look, you can be frustrated with it as a fan, but that's probably a better way to build it than, these teams like the Jets that are just taking shots in the dark with a one-off.
Rob Demovsky, go ahead.
Rob, do you think this team knows it's not good enough, though? Because when we went to Dallas, you're talking 93 and 94.
Yeah.
We beat, I think, Detroit at home, and then next year we beat Atlanta. And then going to Dallas, we were like, maybe we can win.
Yeah.
We never actually thought, hey, we're going in there and we're taking them down. You think that team has a little bit of this? Because they haven't beaten anybody. I mean, they lost.
No, I don't know how you can, Chewy, because, you can say all you want that, we can win, but you haven't done it. And I think that's a big problem with this team. I think, you would know this better than me. And I think that's interesting that you say that was the feeling, because Like, I think sometimes we equate, or at least fans equate how they feel about a team with how players feel about it. And I think players always think differently. And that may not be right or that may not be wrong. It's just like coaches. Like, I remember, this is maybe a reach of an example, but I remember when the Packers, I don't know if they traded for or signed Rick Meyer after he had flamed out in Seattle. And it was like, a guy like Mike Lindgren probably thinks, you know what? He was no good everywhere he's been, but I can fix him because I'm the guy, right? Like and he did.
Mm-hmm.
But I wonder if players, like fans, think, God, they can't beat anybody. They can't beat anybody. But players maybe don't think that way. They think, look, we can beat people because I know I'm good, or whatever the case may be. So I do wonder, if the narrative around a team that they haven't won any, games against the top teams, and they're 1-5 against teams in the NFC playoffs. The only win was against the Rams in Week 5 when the Rams weren't really the Rams. But I still think there's some, those guys are. I think there's a belief in there. It was a little startling though to hear some guys in the locker room yesterday say the message after the game was we had to make sure everybody was still together, not pointing fingers. The fact that you're doing that, heading into the playoffs may not be the greatest sign.
Rob, we got a lot of reaction this morning. Obviously, people very frustrated. And if, again, I'm reading through the frustration, it is not so much that they lost to the Bears. It is that they haven't looked good, trying to now go into the postseason, trying to knock off the Eagles, et cetera, et cetera. But we got a lot of reaction from people who are directing their frustration at Matt LaFleur. Matt LaFleur is not the guy. Matt LaFleur got out-coached. Matt LaFleur, time management. Matt LaFleur gets rattled and there's pressure and all these things. How should folks look at Matt LaFleur, who has obviously been one of the most successful coaches that the Packers organization has ever had?
Yeah, I think those are fair assessments. There's no question. How many times have you heard him say that's on me, and it's admirable to take the blame for it, but at some point you got to stop making those kind of mistakes and in-game decisions. I would say if there's one really valid criticism with him, it's that he's indecisive at those moments. I mean, like, for better or worse, Dan Campbell doesn't hesitate. Like, he doesn't take any time to make a decision, and he makes it. Sometimes you feel like Matt LaFleur, maybe the wheels are turning a little bit before he's ever able to, kind of make the call. And it doesn't mean he's not making the right call, but sometimes when you take that much time, it enters or inserts a level of uncertainty to your football team.
Rob, we appreciate you hanging out with us this morning. Obviously, the hope is that the Packers can hang and that they can beat the Philadelphia Eagles. Right now, I just don't feel like what they have done on the field has inspired a lot of confidence in the fan base. We appreciate you hanging out with us.
My only hope is that whatever happens in the game, my only hope is that next Monday isn't the last time we're doing this, because this is a great start to the week. But unfortunately, when I'm sitting in the Philadelphia airport, as I told Josh, a week from now, waiting to board my flight, it may be our last one.
Well, that's a very sad thought. So thanks for throwing that out there.
I told you it wasn't going to be a beacon ray of light just shining down upon us.
Jen had hope.
I really did. I thought maybe, hey, listen, maybe I'm off my rocker, and Rob will be like, no, Jen, here are all the reasons why you should be optimistic about the Packers making a deep playoff run. Thank you, Rob. Whether you're a local who wants to enjoy a night out or you're planning to visit Milwaukee, you can enjoy an artfully stylish experience at St. Kate the Arts Hotel. The hotel is ideally located in the heart of the theater district in downtown Milwaukee. They've got deluxe accommodations, culinary creativity, on-site art galleries, nightly live music, and you will enjoy every element of your stay at St. Kate. Learn more and book your stay at stkatearts.com. That's stkatearts.com.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
It started with a prediction.
Go out there and play basketball and win.
And how many games?
6.
It became the culture.
Chance of Bucks in 6.
Being a Bucks fan means you live and breathe Bucks in 6. Brandon Jennings created the prophecy. Tune into Behind the Bucks, the story of Brandon Jennings on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and streaming wherever you get your podcasts.
That's for the culture.
Hey, this is ESPN Milwaukee's Jen Latta. Guys, let's talk about something important. You. Taking care of your health and appearance isn't just about looking good. It's about feeling strong, confident, and ready to take on the world. At Quintessa Aesthetic Center, they make it easy. With experts in advanced skincare, body contouring, and anti-aging treatments, Quintessa is here to help you stay sharp and at your best. Trust me, when you look good, you feel even better. So why wait? Visit myquintessa.com and take the first step towards a more confident you.
Get the beat of the Bucks straight from a fan favorite and Bucks legend.
Welcome to the fantastic voyage. Marcus Johnson, the captain of this vessel.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson, a Bucks Plus audio production.
My first mate, Chris Johnson, the only father and son tandem.
Your weekly pulse on the Milwaukee Bucks and conversations with the biggest names in basketball. This week on the pod, Marcus and Chris are joined by MJ's former teammate, Dr. Lloyd Walton. Find Here District now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, or wherever you get your podcast.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Being young with unlimited energy to burn. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
All guys lose their edge when they turn 40. The body has less testosterone. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I've heard about Nugenix. That really works?
Since I started taking Nugenix, I'm lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. I feel more energized at work. It's even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try?
Yep, send a text. It's that easy.
Text STAY to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone-boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now, and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text STAY to 42424. That's STAY to 42424. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. $5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code BUY to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code BUY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code BUY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Kyle Walsh for Universal Windows Direct. Right now, buy 2 windows and get 2 free. There is no limit and no payments for 3 whole years. Restrictions apply. If you already have a price quote, they'll beat it. Schedule your free in-home estimate today.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
There's a lot of sodas now that are prebiotic sodas
they
as
don't
well.
work. They're called poop. No, they're really called poop, I think. You buy them on Amazon.
I thought you were going to stop talking.
You got a lot of brust in you. You know that?
On 94.5 ESPN.
Wrong one.
I know the new year is a time when a lot of us want to hit the reset button, whether it's fitness, wellness, or taking care of ourselves. Let's be honest, guys. Feeling confident in how you look and how you feel isn't just for women. That's where Quintessa Aesthetic Center comes in. From January 1st through March 31st, they're offering a special package to help you start 2025 as confident as you can. Whether it's wellness and weight loss plans, Botox, skincare, even IV therapy, Quintessa has got personalized options backed by medical expertise that will help you look and feel your best. Check it all out at myquintessa.com and make sure your year is this year to feel confident inside and out.
Feel like I'm gonna puke, cause my taxes are due.
Let's see. Ainsley weighing in saying, my heavens, RELAX. By the way, I thought we retired the RELAX when Aaron Rodgers went to the Jets. Bunch of Stuart Littles. Gave up 224 yards. Last time we played him, 391. Last time the Bears got 5.3 yards a carry. This time 3.2. 2 turnovers created. We gave them 14 points on the punt return and the fumble on our 21. Y'all are causing nausea this morning.
Doesn't she mean Chicken Little?
I think so.
I don't think Stuart Little was the one running around
Stewie.
saying that the sky was falling. I'm not as familiar with Stuart Little. I don't know what he famously did.
Drives a sick car.
Well, okay, then I'll be Stuart Little. If you got a sick car to give me, I'll sign up. I'll
Imagine
be
if
Stuart.
your parents adopted a talking mouse. That'd be terrible.
Seems like you know a lot about Stuart Little.
I guess what I'm trying to figure out is if Ainsley feels like we should take that performance against the Chicago Bears and elevate our confidence level for this Green Bay Packers team against a team significantly better than the Chicago Bears and the Philadelphia Eagles. I guess that's my question. When the Packers were at pretty much full strength, beginning of the season, and they played the Eagles, they lost. We know, obviously, it was Brazil, neutral field. There's all sorts of things that went into that. But are the Packers better today than they were then? They're certainly not as healthy. That's obvious. That's for every team in the league. You could argue that the Eagles are not as healthy as Jalen Hurts has been dealing with concussion and missed the game. But, guys, if you tell me that what the Packers do well is run the ball, great, wonderful, love it. I'm glad. But guess what? The Eagles are going to try to stop the run, right? You can't be a one-dimensional team. And what have we seen from the passing game if they are without Christian Watson? If Jordan Love is even a little bit banged up with the elbow injury? What have we seen from the rest of the offense that makes you feel like they can supplement the Eagles putting 8 in the box and trying to stop Josh Jacobs? Tell me. I am open to suggestions.
I mean, I wouldn't have any confidence in the defensive side of the ball either. Yeah, they've stopped the run against Saquon, but guess what the Eagles are? They're multidimensional. Teams that have been able to, there was one team a couple weeks ago that went, okay, we'll shut down Saquon. And the Eagles went, oh, we'll just throw the ball to A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and win the game that way. We can do that. After people, oh, man, can the Eagles actually throw the football? Well, they did, and it's why they are, in my mind, the most complete team in the NFC right now.
Look, we got a whole week to break down that matchup, Chew. Yeah. We'll continue doing it, but you just said it. There's no switch. You can't flip a switch.
Yeah, no switch.
And that's why my confidence level is low that this is a team that can make hay. Again, would love to be proven wrong. Wilde and Tausch, I'm sure, will be discussing this right now on ESPN Milwaukee.
Big issues happening around the area. Really bad road conditions right now, especially along the lakefront. Very slick conditions. Eastbound 94, the ramp to northbound 43 in the Marquette is closed right now because of a crash. We've got another accident right around on northbound 43 right about at Hampton off on the right shoulder. We've got 2 accidents right around North Avenue.